Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. Thank you so much for joining us today, which is, I think we're pretty much more than a third of the way through the World Cup games, and I'm joined here by Sadat, Akram here in the studio. Sadat,
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam. And also, I believe we have Rashid on the line. Rashid, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for joining us, Rashid. Taking time out from your busy schedule, watching every single World Cup match that's being played. How are you doing? Have you covered about 100% of the viewing time? 80%? 70%? 90%? How do you think you're doing?
No, I've watched 80% of the games because there's a few just things to be done in life, and you just can't,
Which one are you struggling to watch? Is it the morning ones or the evening ones?
Struggling to watch 4 games a day, put it that way.
Yeah, but which one's the most difficult? Probably the morning one, right? The 10 a.m. is probably the one that you... I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really in the mood for football at 10 a.m.
Oh yes, I
unless
am,
it's
I
a
am.
really. You are?
Yeah.
Rashid, which one are you most likely to miss? Is it a time or does it just depend on the fixture?
No, I genuinely get the morning ones, but it's the afternoon one. Like, is it 1 o'clock or is it 2 o'clock?
Yeah, the 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to, because you got to get done some work.
Yeah, you watch the morning one and you realise, oh my god, it's the afternoon. I haven't done any work.
Yeah, I was in the office. I was supposed to be in the office, virtually in the office, working from home on, I think it was Tuesday, and I was barely at my desk. So like somebody sent me a message, and like 45 minutes later, I'd come back half time, right, and then respond and do a little bit of work, and then disappear again, and then another message, and then I'd come back after full time. Where you been? Oh, just out for lunch.
What's the latest score on the Morocco? I left it.
It's full time now. So Rashid, do you want to give us a
Morocco? 2-0 to Morocco, mashallah.
2-0. They've got the second one. Oh, I left it at 1-0.
Morocco beat Belgium.
Yeah.
So Belgium have failed to score for the first time in 54 games, I think it is now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They've been scoring every game. So and Morocco, that's the 5th clean sheet. And that's since this new manager's come in. All 5 games he's got on a clean sheet.
That's amazing. Some of the players that stood out, I mean, Boufal, we've seen him, right? He's been in the Premier League and he was decent, but he just looked sensational. What is it? It's just like, he looked world class. Rashid, what do you think?
It's the new manager, alhamdulillah, they got in. The new manager, I've forgotten his
Did
name.
you say the new manager, alhamdulillah?
Alhamdulillah, is it?
Is that what you said?
It's the Qatar World Cup getting to him, innit? Alhamdulillah, Mishla, goal. La 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 la.
Love it.
The new manager they've got in, he's just, firstly, he's Moroccan himself, and he managed Casablanca, didn't he? As in, within the Moroccan football, top flight of Moroccan football, and they won the league. He won the league with them, and he won the African, sort of equivalent of the Champions League with them as well.
So this guy, hang on.
That put Morocco on top of the table. Sorry, just they're on top now, aren't they? Because Belgium had 3 points, and then now they've got 4 points. Morocco.
Canada, haven't they?
They have to play Canada next, don't they? Morocco, that's their final game.
Well, Morocco, Canada, Croatia's next now.
Yes, in that group, yeah.
You expect Croatia to beat Canada, and then Morocco.
I don't know. Canada looked really good against Belgium. I know Belgium won that game, but Canada were all over them, especially the first half.
One thing that Croatia can do is keep the ball. That's one thing they can do, with Kovacic, Brozovic, and Modric. They'll keep the ball. So I think it's just if Croatia can make a goal, they'll win that game. And because Jonathan David was just awful.
I'm so disappointed. Who? Sorry, Jonathan David.
Yeah, Jonathan David. He's the he's sort of like the really big striker in France.
Right. Oh, sorry, I got him confused with Alphonso Davies. I was like, I know. who also is? I mean, he's missed a penalty, isn't he? So
yeah, he played for Bayern. Yeah, he's there, but Jonathan David his goals and stats are really exceptional.
What about that English player they've got, Joel Campbell?
Costa Rica.
Yeah, he does play for Costa Rica. You're right. We've missed a number of games, so there's lots to talk about. Also, I've been opening up my Panini stickers that you guys haven't been
Every time I say
part
that, I
of.
think of my food, Panini.
I know. You fancy Panini now, didn't you? Yeah. Junaid Khalil's just come in and said, I hate Courtois so much. Has these dodgy moments in him, and then in the UCL final turns into a brick wall.
Yeah, it was the first goal, wasn't it? It was poor near post. He didn't cover it.
That's a goalkeeper's nightmare, isn't it?
It is, but at this level, Courtois, the best goalkeeper in the world, allegedly.
Well, Alison Becker. Come on, guys. No, don't laugh that off. Alison Becker's easily with a shout to be the best goalkeeper in the world. Come on. Like, that's not a ridiculous statement to make. You're laughing like that's a ridiculous... You're looking at me like that's a ridiculous statement. Are you serious? That's a ridiculous statement.
I waited you to end the punchline.
Okay, look, Rashid, come on. Talk seriously to me. Is Alison Becker not in with a shout?
I will say that Becker is one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
Okay, so
He's
I
in
didn't
the
make a
top-
ridiculous
he's in top
statement.
three.
No, I didn't make a ridiculous statement, right? It's something that
No.
you could potentially argue about. But okay,
Yeah, okay.
forget that. Let's
Fair
get back to
enough,
this. Courtois, absolutely, yeah. You could argue he's made a howler, but that ball was not from a corner. It was from a free kick near the corner flag.
Yep.
Whipped in beyond the first man, bouncing, and he had Saiss in front of him doing all sorts of voodoo
Just
on
like
the
the
ball,
goal that
right?
was disallowed, isn't it? Just before the first half.
That was the offside, right? Yeah,
yeah.
But this one wasn't. It was clearly onside.
Yeah.
Do you think Courtois has a weakness of people whipping free kicks at him? Because he struggled in the first half, and he got disallowed. And then in the second half, he again, same thing. It went in this time and he got allowed. So it just seems as if Courtois may have an issue with balls being whipped in and defenders coming in, running in front of him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it does look like there was something that they were targeting. A lot of their balls were being whipped in at pace and on target. It's like, and I've always found this, like, throughout all my, like, amateur footballing career. Free kicks that are whipped in on target with strikers running across the ball, they seem to be the hardest ones to defend against. And, like, the goalkeepers hate them.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers don't know
They
what to do.
come,
So
they
it's not like,
They can't concentrate on the flight of the ball because you've got other people in your vision, and you don't know if they're going to deflect
Get
the
that
ball
touch,
or what's going to
yeah.
happen.
yeah, I mean, Sadat will go for the ball, miss it, and then claim the assist.
If it's a dummy, yeah.
Yes. So Belgium are in trouble, but Belgium did beat Canada, so they are on 3 points. Tell me a little bit about that game. Did you see any of that? So that Belgium, Canada?
Look, it was a story before the World Cup as Belgium is an Asian team, and Canada showed that, especially first half.
Belgium are not an Asian team; they're a European team.
Aging
I know,
team,
no,
my
that's what
friend.
he said.
Please.
Sorry, go on.
And Canada were all over them in the first half. Second half, Canada probably tired a bit, but it looked like if there was anyone on the score, it's Canada, and they were unlucky not to get something out of that game because Belgium won that game, obviously.
Yeah,
So-
Canada missed a penalty.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Rashid, on Alphonso Davies taking the pen? Like, I know he's one of the best players in that squad, but he's a fullback, right?
It was a poor penalty, wasn't it?
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Apparently, they were saying he isn't the normal penalty taker, but he wanted to take it and he stepped up and all the rest of it. But if he wasn't the normal penalty taker, why did he go to take it and then fluff it? I mean, that's the thing. You're going to do something.
I don't think he went to fluff it purposely. But
No, he did deliberately fluff it. No. But just going to bring you in. Sadat, just going to bring you in. Like, assigned penalty takers. You manage a team,
Yeah,
right?
look.
You have an assigned penalty taker.
Yeah.
You've played in teams where you've had assigned penalty
Yes.
takers,
Yeah,
and somebody else stepped up.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Never. You play the way you're playing the game. It's planned, unless that particular assigned penalty taker says, "Look, not today," for some reason.
Just not feeling it.
Not feeling it. Then you change. Otherwise, you stick to the plan. You got your penalty taker. He takes it all to the game. I don't care if the winger or whoever's having a worldie of
What
a game.
about when you have an assigned penalty taker who's been assigned penalty taker for a whole season?
Yes.
And then a new manager comes in, has a private
Takes him
chat with somebody who's the new assigned penalty taker, but doesn't tell anybody else about it. And then you get a penalty in the game, and the old assigned penalty taker gets the ball, and the new assigned penalty taker standing there.
Sounds very
thinking,
familiar.
It does. Yeah, this might be talking from personal experience here, but yeah. maybe
Let's
that's
let
fine.
me get started on my personal experiences. We'll be here all day.
Rashid, Junaid Khalil agrees with you. Well, you answered that completely. The best decision Morocco made was getting rid of their old manager, bringing in the new gaffer, and bringing back Ziyech. Ziyech, yeah, I mean,
he
he's
did self-retirement
looking
because
good
he
as
didn't
well.
like the old manager, so he had a bust up.
Yeah,
It wasn't that the manager wasn't picking him; they just had a bust up, and he decided he's not playing for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had a bust up with Walid Halilhodžić, and then he wasn't playing, and then Morocco was struggling and all the rest of it. So they got rid of the European manager. They brought in a native Moroccan manager.
And this is something
But
I
then
heard as well
again-
in this World Cup. Like, all African nations for the first time all African nations in the finals are being managed by African managers. And that's got to be a first.
Well, is it Qatar? I know Qatar are now out of it.
And they're not
That's-
African, they're Asian.
No, sorry, Asian. Sorry, yeah, sorry. I was thinking of Asians. The Saudi Arabia, because I was going to go on Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Okay, yeah.
They've got players. Another thing is all based in Saudi
Oh,
Arabia.
sorry,
or
your point.
Qatar.
Yeah. So your point is the players are playing in their domestic
Yeah.
leagues, which I think it's a
It's worked out
hindrance
good
sometimes.
it's worked out all right for Saudi Arabia. They look like they're playing like brilliant
you've
football.
gotta- this is a genuine World Cup for upsets, and it's great it's not being played in Europe or South America.
I'm loving this World Cup.
I am.
It's the fact that, firstly, it's been played in the Middle East, so you've got all the smaller countries, especially the Arab and Asian countries doing.
My
well.
biggest regret, Rashid, we didn't mission it. We didn't mission it out there to catch a game. So that we should have done.
We should have done.
Just-
Islam Radio should have sent us.
No, but you should have just gone ourselves. But like even 3 days, 4 days,
Yeah.
catch a couple of games. We should have. Why didn't we? We should have thought about it. We should have.
done
Yeah.
that.
So
Maybe
that's a
because it was a
shame.
winter and we were thinking of the summer game.
Yeah, and there's quite a few friends of mine I've actually gone over. There's a friend of mine who's there for 10 days and he's catching like 9 matches in that time. So and I think he's actually just gone the other day. So he's there at the moment. I think we missed out there. So maybe we want to remember for future World Cup
But
events.
it's like I say, it's one where most groups are still open to the last game. You have a few groups like Qatar's out, obviously now. Is there any other team that's been knocked out?
We'll go through it. We'll go through it. So
But I mean, it's World Cup of upsets, gents. So do you
Yeah.
think Germany will beat Spain then?
Well, that's the game tonight, isn't it?
Germany have to avoid defeat.
Germany.
They have to avoid defeat, but-
No. Germany can still get through if they lose because Japan lost today.
Germany could max they would get if they lose today is 3 points.
Yeah, and Japan's on 3.
If Spain beat Germany, Spain will beat Germany quite badly.
Yeah, Spain beat Germany. Spain are through. Germany will be on 0 points. The other two teams on 3 points.
Oh right, if
And then the
Costa
final
Rica
game.
beat Japan, you're saying? If
They've
Costa
already
Rica-
beaten Japan today.
Oh, Costa Rica beat Japan, today. Oh, that was the first game.
Yeah, that was the first
Oh,
game.
I
That's
missed
what I'm
that one.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So
Oh.
they can still lose Germany and still hope to get through, but dependent on other results and goal differences.
Got it. So
The
yeah,
reality would be is just simply the style of play how Spain play. They play a particular system. When that comes off, they absolutely annihilate you. So if that system comes off against Germany, they'll put 4. Again, they have done this before. Put 7 past Germany as well. And that was that.
so no, it's going to be. I mean, that's the big game tonight. That is the big game tonight. We're definitely looking forward to that. I want to make sure we clear out my schedule to watch
what's the
that.
game? It's the Canada game now, isn't it? And that'll happen at 4 o'clock or so, I think.
Uh,
The
It's
next-
Croatia, Canada, or it's Croatia, Canada.
Yeah, Croatia, Canada.
Yeah.
And then you've got Spain, Germany in the evening. Junaid's come back and said we'll all go to the US World Cup in 2026 and then complain about their political issues.
What political issues?
What
political issues?
And then we'll complain about boycotting.
There's no political issues
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
America or
Okay,
the Western world.
I'm gonna do the football player quiz now because I think Junaid is following the show. Thank you, Junaid. You can take part. Ali, can you bring some of those Panini stickers in, and we'll test the knowledge. We'll test the knowledge. Have you got them? Keep them well hidden, please. Oh, don't let him have a look.
No, I'm
Right.
not getting involved in this. I'm rubbish at this.
You're not getting involved.
Yeah, I'm rubbish at this.
Why are you not getting involved?
Because I'm poor.
All right.
So what it forbids you to come on as well.
We've got some more for the second half. Bidsy's going to be on the second half. You can take part. First player, this one. I'm going to put this out for Junaid Khalil. Junaid, who does Ruben Diaz play for? He goes, let me open up my Google. Come on, Junaid.
Man
Ruben
City.
Diaz. You shouldn't need Google for that. Ruben Diaz. Rashid, for you, this is an interesting one. Listen to the name because I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. Isahaku Abdul Fatawu.
Who?
Isahaku Abdul Fatawu. You're going to have a guess, aren't you?
Saudi?
You don't know who Fatawu is? Even Sadat knows who Fatawu is.
Ghana.
Yeah. Well done. Nah, he's in the back of the card,
Like,
Rashid.
he's showing me the back
He's
of the
seen the
card.
back of the card.
What's he doing?
Don't listen to him. Junaid Khalil, you're absolutely right. Ruben Diaz with Portugal. Junaid guessed Senegal for Fatawu, so incorrect. It was Ghana. And the last player, I just want to say this name. He's got a funny name. Well, it depends how you pronounce it. So both you, Junaid and Rashid, who does Aziz Beich play for? Aziz Beich.
Beach.
Aziz Beich.
Beach.
Can you spell the surname?
Behich. Beich.
Beach.
It's close to another name, which is quite rude, or a word.
That's
rather.
not a name, yeah.
Aziz
That's not a
Aziz
name, but
Beige.
yeah.
Junaid, any guesses? I'm going to let Junaid have a guess first before
Junaid
Rashid,
said
you can come in.
Australia.
Junaid said...
Tunisia,
I've not seen it. Has he said Australia?
No, but I just made it up.
Tunisia, I'm guessing.
Tunisia? No, not Tunisia. Junaid, I'm going to give you 5 seconds if it comes on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, he's given up. Aziz Beige is indeed Australia.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, well done to Sadat to get the one, but you don't get a point because you weren't taking part.
No, I wasn't. That's right.
And Junaid suggested Qatar. So yeah, sorry, Rashid and Junaid, you're both wrong. And the worst thing about this is Beige is a repeat, and I believe Fatawu is a repeat as well. So I've got 2 more gots and only 3 needs. So a bit disappointing with that. Listen, let's get back to the matches that we've been played. Brazil, Serbia. We didn't talk about that.
That's one game I missed, actually.
Yeah, and
I saw the goal. Is that the Artisan goal?
the Richarlison.
Sorry, Richarlison goal.
Yeah, Richarlison.
Yeah.
Bicycle kick. Brazil. I don't know. I think you
First
have
touch was poor, though, isn't it?
yeah, it was rubbish first touch. Yeah, the way he flicked it up and set himself up with a bicycle kick, that was just shocking. But no, I was going to say with Brazil, like, unless they're doing what Spain did, and we'll talk about Spain's result as well, but unless they do what Spain did, you're not impressed with Brazil until they get to like the quarters and semis anyway. Like, isn't the
So they'll
expectation...
play a big team, maybe.
Serbia are tough. They're a
Yeah,
tough,
but
tough
you
team.
expect Brazil to beat Serbia. I mean, like
Yeah, no,
Spain and
but
Germany, that could go either way.
Brazil did beat Serbia, and they were rightful winners. They didn't fluke or anything. It was just that the Serbians did what they were supposed to do. The Serbians literally put 10 men behind the ball, and then they dragged
Made
the
it
defenders
difficult.
as they could. Yeah, and they made it difficult, and it's hard when the opposition don't come out and play. And in the end, the Brazilians did get the victory they deserved, and they could have got more. They could have got 3-4. It could have been 3 or 4-0. And that's the truth of it. So Brazil's done okay. Spain have done well. France are looking...
Well, the biggest news out of the Brazil game
yeah.
is obviously the Neymar injury, and Junaid's mentioned that as well. Looks like he's out for the group stages, hopefully back for the round of 16 if they get there. They should get there, obviously. But I just don't understand about Neymar. Like, he gets a lot of stick, and I know he's a prima donna, and I know he rolls around and fakes injury and all that, but
He's counting his roles, weren't they, every time?
he's one of the best players in this World Cup. There's no two ways about it. He's one of the most exciting. He's one of the few players that you want to see do well. If he plays well, it's a much more entertaining game, and it's a far more entertaining World Cup.
I think Brazil could play more as a team without Neymar, because they can bring in Bruno Guimaraes, can come in with Casemiro and Paqueta, and then you can have Richarlison.
Yeah, but then don't they just
Fred's
become?
coming in,
Don't they just become more of a bog standard team then? Like, don't they take out a bit of the X factor?
Speciality, yeah.
Image. Are you saying Bruno Guimaraes isn't a top?
No. Come on, don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is, you take out somebody like Neymar, even if you bring in somebody like Bruno, you just what you're doing is you're making your style of play slightly more predictable, and it might still be at a very high level.
But he's injured. You can't do anything about
No,
it.
I know. Yeah. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying you dropped Neymar. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, for me as a fan, I mean, I think Brazil are going to win the World Cup.
Brazil's predicament at this stage.
Right? We all want to see the tricks and the flicks, and and all that sort of stuff, right? And the way the flowing football they played. But
there was a passage of play. He got the ball just in the pocket in front of his own defence, and there was no need for it. But he skinned the striker, and he skinned a couple of midfielders, and he went into a little pocket, and it was going nowhere. It was like pointless. He skinned 3 or 4 players who've done really good, like drop of the shoulder, turn, whatever, and then he passes the ball out wide, and it's like, yeah, they've got back into defence. He's not broken the lines or anything like that. But it was good to watch. Like, it's good to watch. And I think, Messi does that as well. Messi, the number of times he drops deep, beats a couple of players for no particular reason. It's like, I've got the ability to do this, and I might do it where it's going to hurt you.
More effective,
but
though,
right now I'm doing it in a deeper position just to entertain the crowd. I like watching that. I like seeing that. And we'll talk about Neymar as well. Obviously, Argentina, big win yesterday, so we'll talk about that as well.
In Argentina.
But yeah, Brazil looking good, we can say, and hopefully Neymar's back to full fitness. But Rashid, you're suggesting that in his absence, they won't necessarily be hurt because of the quality of the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Look, I don't think Brazil will miss Neymar too much. I think Brazil will do fine. I think Guimaraes can come in. I think Richarlison will do, and I think Vinicius can play even. Will will have a much better sort of role, because the ball doesn't always have to go to Neymar now, because it just literally is. If you get the ball, you have to give it to Neymar.
Do you think that is with on the international, even on the international level, when you have a big player like a Messi and Neymar, the players get the ball and they think, oh my God, I've got to find Messi, I've got to find Neymar,
I think
I've got to find Mbappe, I've got to do this, even though they might not be in the best position or it might not be the right pass. They're just looking for him a bit too early. Do you think that out on the international level still happens too much, or players
I
have
think
that in
so.
that
Rashid,
mindset?
what do you think? Rashid, what do you think? Do you think players still look for their big players on the international stage, or is everyone a big player at the international stage?
Yeah, look, I just think for the bigger teams, right? You have much better play. You have an array of very good players, and you need to utilize all of them. So players as a unit as a team. I get smaller nations, right, who have one decent player or one sort of goodish player, and therefore you always get the ball to him. But I just think this sort of like pampering the prima donna ego doesn't help you if that player then gets injured, because then you're just being solely reliant on him.
One-dimensional then.
You're like, what do we do now? You're standing there looking at each other like, what do we do? He's got injured. We don't know how to
I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. But
I feel a lot of pressure when I play, to be honest. I have to give it to Arif. He's always shouting at me.
I thought it was you that gets the ball all the time. You're like the conduit.
You're lucky if I get on the pitch, but when I do that.
Portugal won the European Championships with Ronaldo on the sideline, didn't they? He got injured.
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Didn't affect their play, really. Obviously, you took out a superstar, but you put in another player, and ultimately they went on to win. That's... you can argue. I mean, I'm not saying, he was.
But it didn't. Well, you say it didn't affect their play. They changed their play, didn't they?
They changed their play. Yeah,
they changed it, so it affected them in that sense, and they probably weren't as attacking as they probably normally would be.
So who would you say then, Sadat, are the top players in this World Cup that
Mbappe.
Teams can't? Okay, so Mbappe, France always look for him, I think.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
No, Dembele was getting a lot of it on the other side.
Actually, France has got a better balance than most
Belgium
teams.
has obviously got KDB, and I do feel like everything goes through him.
And they're missing Lukaku, funny enough.
No, he came on.
I know he came on for the last few minutes, but it's clearly not fit.
Yeah, he's not. And then Neymar, obviously, for Brazil.
Messi for Argentina.
Yeah, do you think everything goes through Messi?
Well, they try to.
It doesn't work for them, though, does it, really? It's not working.
Well, Messi, like Ronaldo, can only produce moments. He can't dominate a game from start to finish anymore.
And then England, obviously, our biggest player in the world is Foden. And we didn't really go through him in our last game, did we? Because he didn't get on the pitch.
Harry Maguire was awesome last game.
No, we'll talk about Harry Maguire. Just USA,
England. What a game that was! Actually,
Junaid Khalil was saying Hendo's coming on for Bellingham in England. That's his moment of the World Cup so far. He didn't say that, but I'm reading between the lines.
How was Bellingham feeling when he's coming off and he sees who's coming on for me? Hendo, really?
He's thinking, put on Foden at least.
At least put somebody.
So, Brazil looking good. Portugal, Ghana. What a game! Firstly, what a game!
I saw the penalty, and that was it. That was a Thursday night, wasn't it? Yeah,
It was brilliant. I mean, Ghana were strong, they were aggressive, but they were also very, very skillful. Had a number of talented players really taking the game to Portugal, and you know what, 3-2 was probably just about.
I did see a moment actually, because where I was, it could have been 3-3. The keeper made a howler, didn't he? Just rolled the ball out.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, this it was brilliant. So Rashid, firstly, Ronaldo scores, Bruno 2 assists.
First player to score in 5 World Cups.
Yeah, absolutely worth a mention. Thoughts on that, Rashid?
It's just phenomenal. I've got to say, though, yes, Bruno scored and all the rest of it, but I thought Rafael Leao just gives Portugal an amazing edge. Having João Felix and Rafael Leao up front with Ronaldo will give Portugal some pace and legs.
And I think those players also give Ronaldo longevity, don't they? Because it's players like that he can really, get his best game out with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they help to stretch the opposition defence. That gives Ronaldo some more space and then the pace they both have and the dribbling ability both João Felix and Rafael Leao have. I mean, they are both very, very good players, exceptionally good players.
Yeah, the annoying thing is they're not even mentioned in my World Cup book, but I do have Diego Jota So that's I don't know why this book must have been printed like a year before the actual World Cup. I don't know what's going on. There's a number of players that are in here that are not at the World Cup, and vice versa. So not too happy about that.
That was their first game, wasn't it? Portugal, Ghana in that group.
Yeah, Portugal Ghana first game. They've got Uruguay coming up. That's tomorrow, isn't it? I think that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Uruguay played Korea. No, was it? Who did they play also in that group? Korea, Republic of Korea.
Uruguay.
Would it be Uruguay, Ghana, and then Portugal?
It's gonna be Portugal, Uruguay, and it's gonna be.
No, I just want to know what the other result was in that group. Sorry, so Portugal won, beat Ghana 3-2. What was the result?
Oh, it was 0-0. 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah, 0-0. Darwin Núñez failed to score
again.
Yeah. Wasn't good. As it, Suarez looked sharp though.
Will be Núñez versus Ronaldo tomorrow then.
Yeah, listen, Suarez looked really sharp. I don't know if you saw that game.
Is Cavani still playing for Uruguay?
No, I don't think
he's not in the squad.
He's in my book, but I don't think he's in the squad.
Suarez can barely run.
Yeah. All right, listen, we've got to go to the break. We're going to come back. We're going to open up some more stickers. We're hopefully going to get Bidan on the show as well for the second half. And absolutely, we're going to have to talk about England and their
USA.
dismal display on Friday night.
Shocking.
So join us again in about 4 minutes, guys. We'll be back soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
HS Lawyers make it so simple. Contact Majid Sarwar or Asad Arif today for any matters relating to immigration, family, business or property. Google HS Lawyers to see why we're the highest reviewed firm in Peterborough, with over 500 testimonies on our honesty, speed and excellent communication, making your legal matter simple, easy and stress-free. Contact us today on 01733 703 978. That's 01733 703 978. Or email us at peterborough@hs-lawyers.co.uk. HS Lawyers, built on values of integrity and respect, with offices in Peterborough and throughout the West Midlands.
Peterborough. Who said good quality fried and grilled chicken has to be expensive? At Sam's, we take pride in every piece of chicken that leaves our kitchen. Just one bite of our chicken or burgers is all it takes to realise we are the best. Visit us at our brand new place at 333 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PF. Or order a delivery through Just Eat, Uber or Deliveroo. Sam's, the home of great tasting chicken for over 30 years.
It's estimated that 5,760 children become orphaned every day, and the numbers are rising. UKIM ensures that the orphans we sponsor receive healthcare, food, education and shelter to show them that there are people who care. This Ramadan, from just £30 per month, you can make a real change in an orphan's life. Your sponsorship will provide them with much needed essentials to ease their situation. For orphan sponsorship, call now or visit ukim.org.
दोस्ता कियां परेशान है
जरा कर है ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं नहीं मार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आलाता उथे का स्पेशल आ
उना की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीजें चंगियां मियारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफरां ही ऑफरां
और क्या
ताजा गोश्त ताजी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक नो टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के एक चिड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
उठ जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374
महानूर मजीद हूँ और कोर्ट मेरा एक खूबसूरत आशियाना है जहाँ मेरे जैसे हज़ारों यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की कफालत बेहतरीन अंदाज में की जा रही है। आए हमारे सरों पर दस्ते शफकत रखें और इस माह रमज़ान अपने सदक़ात खैरात और एहतियात से हमारी कफालत में अपना हिस्सा डालें। अल्लाह पाक आपका दिया हुआ माल अपनी बारगाह में कबूल फरमाए, आमीन।
कोर्ट UK ऑफिस 0300 123 774 court.org.uk।
salaamradio.co.uk.
Welcome back. This is Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. Thank you so much for joining us once again on this show, purely dedicated to the World Cup and all the games that have been played so far. I've got Sadat in the studio, I've got Rashid on the phone, and I believe I have Bidan on the phone as well. Bidan, are you there?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us. Thank you
on the
so
road.
much. It sounds like you're in the middle of something.
I'm on the road. I'm just going home, but I'm going to mute it when I'm not talking.
All right, no worries. We'll let you mute it, but I
There
might
won't be
call
a lot
you
of
in.
mute then.
Yeah. In fact, before you do mute, just quick thoughts on Portugal Ghana 3-2. Good result. Ronaldo goal. Bruno 2 assists. I mean, that was a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, drama at the end with Diogo Costa bowling the ball out, not looking behind him. Don't know if you remember Andy Hint. Don't know if you remember when in Nottingham Forest that goal ages ago when he didn't look behind him. But yeah, look, great. Ronaldo scored in what's it now, 5 World Cup?
5, yeah.
And,
the only player.
And and obviously before Messi obviously did it as well on Saturday. But yeah, I'm pleased.
No, hang on,
Messi's 4.
I think
Messi's on 4.
I think Messi might be 4.
4. Messi's on
Is it
4.
Messi 4?
Yeah, Ronaldo's the only one who's on
Messi's
5.
going to have to come back.
It's Messi's assisted in 5. That's it. He's assisted in 5.
I don't count. I've been
Ronaldo
told that
scored
so
in
many
5,
times.
Obviously, look, it's a penalty, Penaldo, but
No, they all count.
They all count. Yeah, they don't score themselves those penalties. So I think, but yeah, Portugal Ghana, great, but game in the evening was even better. Brazil. It doesn't feel like a World Cup until Brazil play, really, does it?
I agree. I love Brazil. The one thing I heard about, I was watching this documentary on Neymar, and somebody said in there, Brazil, they either win a World Cup or they lose a World Cup. Like there's no in between. And I'm just thinking, what a view to take. Like, if that's the case, we literally lose every. Like some countries, there's only been like seven winners in history, right? So whatever it is. So yeah.
Hold on, but it's a bit like those adages, like you either win it or you lose it. Yeah, but what is the in between? I mean, there is no in between, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no in between, and obviously everybody's in it to win it. So it's just one of them things, isn't it? But I just found it interesting that genuinely, like the Brazilian population, anything less of a World Cup win is an absolute disaster. And for us, I mean, we're celebrating an appearance in a semi-final.
It's the next round.
Yeah, just get out the group stages. And we were basically the perennial quarterfinalists under Sven, weren't we? It's like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row. We just got to the corners. That was our ceiling. So an interesting take. Let's move on. Reluctantly, I have to say, I don't want to talk about this because it was so depressing. But Friday night, England, USA, like Sadat.
Yeah, that's probably why you won't respond to our calls. Are we coming on Friday? Are we coming on Friday?
I don't mean, your thoughts on the game?
Look, they were trying to put quite a bit of a positive spin on it, weren't they? On
Propaganda,
the pundits, and even the manager came out and said, "Yeah, we did really." But you want to win a World Cup, you're playing USA, and I know England haven't beaten USA in their previous World Cup games that they played. I think was it 1 draw, 1 defeat.
Yeah, we've never been
able to beat them. But again, it's as disappointing as drawing was it to Scotland, wasn't it, in the group stages in the Euros?
Yeah,
it's just very, very poor. It was just a poor performance. They just didn't look like they were going to, they were. I suppose if anything, you play that bad and you get a draw, you're happy with that.
Rashid, do you think England USA turned out to be what it was because the USA drew with Wales, and England knew a draw was pretty much good enough for them to go through?
Ooh.
Maybe, I think because the USA were up for it, they didn't want to lose, and they went for it. And I think England didn't. And I think maybe Southgate was under a bit of pressure to play the same team again. And rather than, he should have changed it. Maybe the heat was too much because England weren't that sort of, feisty self where England was just going out and closing down and all the rest of it. England were completely leggy. They were out of it for large parts of the game. And maybe it was Southgate under pressure not to change the starting 11 when he should have changed maybe 3 or 4 plays and then rotated that squad.
Yeah, good
Maguire
point.
saved him, really, didn't he, in that game?
Yeah, Maguire stood out that game, and that's a fact. It's a sad fact that when a defender is your best player.
It is. I mean, he's right. It's a sad fact that when you're, very, very strong in aerially, centre back is your best player on the pitch by a mile, and I'll agree with that. It just goes to show how the game panned out. It means you had, no flashes. They say Phil Foden created as many chances as Saka, Sterling, and Kane together. 0. That's basically what happened. Bidsy, Harry Kane. A lot of people have said he's looking really tired. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's not as. It would be interesting to see in this third game if we do decide to give him a bit of a rest, how the replacement does, because it would be Callum Wilson that would come in and maybe. I mean, look, Kane was coming deep a lot on Friday, and the thing is that Mason Mount's meant to be doing the job that Kane's trying to do. So they either need to get rid of one of the two of them or just make sure they stay out of each other's way. And I think if they bring in Callum Wilson, I think, look, we're basically through unless we lose by 4 goals to Wales. So I would maybe try just somebody else and maybe bring Kane on if need be, if we're in an emergency. But maybe just try and freshen it up, bring Foden in on the left. I personally, as I was saying to you on the group chat, I think Foden should play instead of Mount. I don't care what Gareth says that he doesn't play there for his country. I think, for his club. But I think that Foden and Bellingham are like, look, we know when you get to the latter stages, England cannot keep the ball. I think Foden is very good at keeping the ball. Like Mount can't dribble with it really, and I don't like Mount. I think he, along with Rice, is a massively overrated footballer. But I think that maybe play Callum Wilson against Wales, and let's just see how it goes. Because if we can rest Kane and then have him firing on all cylinders,
I think there'll be goals in it for England in this game because obviously Wales have got to win. And you take Kane out, and he's low on confidence he's not scored, he's not really played that well. And they probably want to get Kane to score, bag a couple of goals, and then take him off at half time if he can get a couple in before.
No, I disagree with that. I mean, obviously I understand what you're saying, and like it is a sound reasoning, but I just think that, you know, I think that he hasn't really looked like scoring. I don't know what his. It's a bit,
because the next game, when you get, hopefully England qualify, get the next round. Say,
I know you want Kane firing on all cylinders.
Wilson scores 2 goals. He's not going to start.
I feel like it's cliched reasoning. It's something that you always hear, and I think if the best thing to do is to give somebody a rest, you give them a rest. Rashid, go on.
Because do you remember about a month ago, this was just like before a Champions League game, right? And there was reports coming out saying that Harry Kane is spent, he's really tired,
Where's Manchester?
Before the World Cup, there was reports coming out in the media about that Harry Kane is really, really tired because of the intensity of the first half of the first part of the league, the football program. And therefore Harry Kane was, and a lot of England players were really, really tired. They were saying, and there was all these injuries happening, and Conte came out and said something like this. And maybe that's just catching up with Kane now.
Yeah, maybe. The other thing I'm just going to point that out. Sorry, the other thing I'm going to bring up is a really interesting point, Bidan, you made about Kane and Mount essentially doing the same role, and I definitely saw that. But Sadat, like you must have seen, Mount was doing a lot of Kane's work.
Like running ahead of Kane because Kane's come back, isn't it? So
he's dropped deep. But then if you're going to be pressing high, like why was Mount going all the way up to the central defender and trying to put him under a bit of pressure and letting Kane stay where he is? I don't think it's
something they probably planned or anything
like that. You think that was just one of
those things that just happened? Kane kept deep, Mount saw the space, he went in there. Well, if you're not going there, I'm going there. So
watching it, I felt like that was instruction. I don't know why.
I didn't see it. I watched the bits of it, but because I was out myself. But
Bidan, did you see Mount doing a lot of Kane's work in the pressing?
I didn't, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But then there's something Southgate needs to pull him up on. Is it on the game, on the day? If he sees that, surely, unless it, like you say, it was planned. So what's going on here, Kane? You should be pressing. You know, Mount, you do your job. Kane, you do your job.
I mean, for me, Imtiaz, I was speaking to someone else about this. It's like, you know, I think you don't want to make too many changes. But like, there's players who don't get mentioned, who I think are big problems. One of them is Declan Rice.
Yep.
I think that if Calvin Phillips hadn't been injured for so long, I'd have been tempted to drop Rice and put Phillips in and play him alongside Bellingham. I don't think Hardman Hendo covered himself in glory when he came on, to be honest with you. I think that punt, he always does that bend it like Beckham punt into the goalkeeper's arms, doesn't he? I mean,
he does. No, nobody's going to defend him. Nobody's defending. But it's a statement of where we are. Like, if we've got people, I mean, Maddison's not been given a look in so far. Foden didn't. We had no. no spark in the final third, and Foden's not on the pitch. Like, what are you doing? So, I don't get it. I know you don't get it.
Image.
Yeah.
I've watched it. We've seen enough of, and I always say this on the group chat as well. It's that Grealish carries the ball onto the edge of the area. Then he's got no final ball. He's not a winger. He can't cross it. He doesn't run into the field, into a central area to play a killer pass. United honestly remind me a lot of England remind me of United under Solskjaer, in that there just seems to be this. They just always go down the left and just end up at the corner of the box with having run out of options.
And then turn back and pass it to the fullback. Like, literally, Shaw gets it off Grealish more than anybody else, I think. And you're absolutely right. I'm going to read out a couple of comments. Junaid's come back and said Phil Foden starts for Pep, arguably one of the best managers in the world, but doesn't get into a team managed by Southgate, ? It also might be harder adapting to your national manager's tactics. Kane may play a certain way under Conte, but with Southgate, it's a complete switch up. So I think it can be a bit confusing for a player as well. So yeah, fair play. He's got a slightly different system. I mean, I don't think it's too dissimilar. We still want him to score goals, get on the end of things, and occasionally drop deep and start some of the play. And he did well against Iran. You can't take that away from him. He did well against Iran. So I don't know. Let's move on from England because I'm a little bit depressed. You guys, I'm going to give you the opportunity to wax lyrical about Spain, Costa Rica, 7-0. I'll start with Rashid. I know you're a massive fan of Spanish football. Talk us through how that game panned out. And Ali, while he's doing that, could you bring the next 5 cards in, please? Rashid.
Look, all I will say is this. With Spain, it was a mismatch. And maybe it's a result that may not happen again. But yeah, Costa Rica was just absolutely rubbish. Spain were brilliant at what they do. There was just a golf in class from the word go. And the 2 kids Spain have, in Pedri and Gavi, they absolutely, I mean, Image, you're a midfield player. You would be the best person to analyse their games. And I just thought they were just simply outstanding in what they do. And to me, Gavi just got so much of Iniesta. His touch, his technique, his vision, the way he even runs with the ball. There is a lot of Iniesta there. And the fact is they played, what's his name, Rodri, the one, the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League, plays for Man City. They played him in defence, and then they played Busquets with Gavi and Pedri.
So look, Busquets, this is one player that I think probably doesn't get the plaudits because he's always been in the shadow of the likes of Xavi and Iniesta. But Busquets is handled his own, and for him to be there, an experienced stalwart, knowing how to make a midfield tick, and then just having those younger players around him. I mean, and I know this is cliche, and Bidsy, you're going to call me up on this, but those 3 in midfield were making beautiful triangles. And I know every time you get 3 players on a pitch, it is a triangle. I get that. But just their movement, their interplay, and the fact that they were making the opposition look over their shoulder, turn, spin on their heels, try getting back into position, and literally they were dizzy. Thoughts on?
The thing.
Go on.
I think England could definitely learn from. I mean, if I was England, I would just concentrate on put all of the resources for the next 20 years in trying to create some decent midfielders and a pattern of play, because it's where we continually fall down in international games. Whereas people like Spain and to a lesser France as well, to a lesser extent, but Spain are just the masters at just, like you say, creating those triangles like they used to do with like Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets.
Exactly, yeah, exactly that. Honestly, like that's one thing. There
was one stage when England had all the best midfielding players on paper. We had Gerrard, you
speak to anyone who's played international football at a high level over the last 15, 20 years, and they can't understand why England didn't deliver something with the midfielders that they had. Because that's where the game is won and lost. Like, you can talk all you want about amazing strikers, amazing defenders, world-class goalkeepers, but if your midfield is not dominating games, you're going to lose more than you win. And that's a big problem. And this is why England was so hard to beat, because we did have that midfield, but we just couldn't do it. Your thoughts on Spain's chances?
I didn't watch the game, but
you must have seen the highlights.
I missed the highlights.
What are you doing? That was the game to watch.
I saw the results 7-0, but I'm sure at the start they were saying, "Oh, Spain are not playing with a striker. Might find they'll struggle without a striker." I'm sure one of the pundits said that.
Yeah, they struggled a bit. They only scored 7.
And I was like, "Hang on, they scored 7 goals. What's going on here?"
Yeah, I think it was the 4th goal. Rashid, was it Olmo Danny Olmo, was it Danny Olmo on the right started to move, passed the ball into, I forget who it was, it might have been Torres. Or it might have been either way around, actually. Torres passed the ball in and then basically just ran through the midfield into the box, got the ball, showed a bit of persistence and finished it. And it was just like, that's, for a team that plays such beautiful football through the middle, all the intricate passing, that was almost like a Premier League goal.
Was it Spain that good, or was it Costa Rica? Just didn't turn up at all. Were they that poor?
Rashid, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally thought Gavi's goal, the way he came into the box and just the way he had to hit the ball to get into the corner, I thought that was just the best goal I've seen so far in the World Cup. But yeah, look, Spain are pairing, but we'll see how they do. Like, for example, tonight against Germany.
I can't wait for that game.
Yeah.
That's
So you think that was the
stages,
best goal in the tournament so far?
You reckon the Gavi goal was the best goal in the tournament so far? I think Saka's one was decent.
Oh, I think the Saudi Arabian second goal against...
that was quality.
That was a great goal.
I think the goal from Argentina last night was pretty spicy.
Messi one, was it?
Both.
Yeah,
both were very good goals. But we'll talk about that, I think, a little bit later on in the tournament. We're going to move on to guess the nationality of the player. You can't play the first one because you've seen the
Oh, no,
the
I've
shirt,
not seen it. I haven't seen any of it. I haven't. I
All right,
wouldn't know.
fine then. So that for you.
I don't know, no.
All right. Open to you, Bidsy and Rashid. Kyle Larin.
Oh.
Kyle Larin. Striker.
European. No?
Anyone?
European, is that team?
No, he's not European.
I don't know. I can't see the cards. I'm just...
Say that again?
America.
Canada. Nobody knows this guy. Kyle Larin. Canada. Right. Random, yeah. Jeremy Doku. You got to get this.
Oh, Belgium.
Good lad. Haris Seferovic.
Switzerland.
He's on fire.
Oh.
Okay, this is for you, Sadat, and you only.
No.
I fancy you to get this.
No, I'm going to say England, regardless.
Just give it a second, and if you don't know, say England. Yeah, Min Kyu Song.
He's Japan.
Absolute joker. South Korea. Thank you for playing along. We've figured out that this is not Sadat's game. Junaid, we need to get you in to play the game at least, nothing else, but just to play the game. Let's move on. We've got last 10 minutes of the show. I do want to quickly talk about Wales, Iran, Argentina, Mexico, and also France, Denmark. What a game that was. But first, Wales, Iran. I mean, what is going on with Wales? How bad are they?
Well, no, I give credit to Iran. I said to them they were really poor against England, but I think, the Iran turned up against Wales, and what a shocking decision by that ref not to give him the red card. I can't believe VAR had to get involved to send the Welsh goalkeeper off, but I thought they played really, really well.
Yeah, that was a big decision. Definitely, that was a big decision. But do you think
too much for Wales, the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since they qualified, and the occasion's probably got them. And Gareth Bale's got his goal, so they basically...
and Ramsey, they're aging, aren't they? They're relying on too much. They haven't got any youngsters there.
Is it just that we're familiar with some of the players, and that's why we probably expect a bit from them? But really, Wales are just out of their league here. They're losing to teams like Iran, who you wouldn't necessarily respect as a quality contender for this World Cup.
No. The points that you got to pick up if you want to get out of that group.
Go on, Rashid.
It wasn't even the fact that Wales had lost. It was the manner of how they lost. They lost without throwing a punch. Literally, they were just awful all game.
Yeah, and I think Iran were good as well. Like let's be fair.
Yeah,
Iran.
Iran chance after chance. The Iranians were the ones that have taken the game to the Welsh. They're the ones that were creating chances. I mean, they only had literally one shot on target. That was with Ben Davies when he smashed it, and the keeper made a good save.
Yeah.
But other than that, Wales were just like, you were thinking, what are you doing?
Okay, and then Bidan, England, Wales. I mean, do you reckon that's just going to be a glut of goals for us, or is it going to be a tetchy local derby?
With Hempy banned, they've got David Walton that plays for Leicester.
Stop laughing. He's a World Cup goalkeeper. He's got his own sticker in my Panini book, okay? Show some respect on the name. Bidan, do you reckon that's just going to be a glut of goals, or do you reckon it's going to be a tetchy affair?
I can see like a bit of a tepid game, to be honest with you. I think look, Wales are championship standard team, I think, and they'll try, and then England will try and, there's not going to be that much
hold back.
urgency.
Do you reckon England will hold back?
I think England should win it. I mean, they should win it, because this is the thing. This is why I would freshen it up, because, you don't want the players that have played so far, who looked a bit, like you say, tired and lethargic against the USA, to have to sort of go again. They'll be low on energy. So I'd rather get some people in who can potentially play themselves into the last 16, aka Foden, aka, I mean, they're talking about bringing maybe Kyle Walker back in, and do you leave Trippier out, or do they, what other players can we bring in? Like, I know we've said that Rice has to stay in there, but do we, does Rashford come in? I don't know. I think I'd rather do that, and then I think if we've got fresher players in, then I think we'll probably win at a canter. But I think if we go with the same team again, it could just be like, look, let's just manage the situation and get through. So, but I mean, we need to finish. We'll need to finish top in this group, to be honest with you. I think so.
Who do England play next group? Isn't it?
It's going to be Holland.
Was it Holland? That's it. Yeah, Holland's group, wasn't it?
It's going to be Holland, Senegal, or Ecuador, depending on where they finish and where we finish.
So England, so the top of the England group would play second of that group. Yeah.
No, if I was happy, I'd actually just play a counter-attacking side. I'd leave Kane out, and I'd drop one of the other players. I'd just play that you're quicker, that can easily hit well on trying.
Oh man, imagine just having a front three. Imagine a front three of Sterling, Rashford, and Foden. Like, you would just pace, wouldn't it?
Pace and ability, one-touch players who can score loads of goals, and England could quite easily win this. And England don't need to have the majority of possession. Let the Welsh spread it out, and England hit them and counter, win 4-5, 6-0.
What's the equation? What do Wales need to do? They have to win, but are they dependent on the other results?
They have to win 4-0. Wales have to beat England 4-0.
To go through?
Well, basically, Junaid Khalil's come back. Rashid, you'll like this. Wales probably went into the game thinking they'd already won. A dangerous mentality to have at any level, especially in a World Cup. A little bit disrespect, he's suggesting, shown from Wales towards Iran. I don't know. Maybe the game certainly gave that impression, but
I think that Wales lost to Iran in the friendly previously, though. I'm sure. They did that, so they knew the calibre of the team. That's good enough.
Yeah, you can't let your guard down against anyone. No. Not at a World Cup. I mean, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, that was the biggest.
And Saudi Arabia's second game. What about the second game? I know they lost, but did you watch that game, or did you see the Saudis' performance?
Yeah, Saudi Arabia looked sensational against Poland, wasn't it? They lose 1-0 or 2-0?
2-0 at the end.
2-0 in the end,
but they didn't deserve. Yeah, I mean, I think they had a missed penalty. Did they have a missed penalty as well, Saudis? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think scored the penalty would have been different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very quickly, last 3 minutes of the show. Welcome to the World Cup, Lionel Messi and Argentina. Great win for them against Mexico. A game which I think they played. So my view, they played it in the right way, in the right tempo. Showed a bit of patience. Showed the quality at the right time. But yeah. I think a
for
good
Argentina, isn't it? Because it was in the 70th minute they scored the first goal.
a good result for the World Cup, I'd say. What do you think?
Yeah, because every game for Argentina's final now. They have to win this last game as well, and then obviously there's knockout stages. So it's a good win for them. Well done.
Yeah,
Bidsy, but still didn't perform great.
Bidsy, good to see Messi scoring from open play at a World Cups.
Well, Messi to score from open play, so I didn't quite hear that.
Yeah, Messi, I mean, he's got the penalty goal in the first game and they lost. This one, he scored from open play and got the assist for the second, although you can't really claim that assist. That was a fantastic goal. He had still had a lot of work to do.
Yeah. He scored a brilliant goal, and who knows, that might light the touch place to go on and score more. But look, is it Mbappe? One thing I was going to say, by the way, is that the only team that's really not had any hiccups and looked brilliant from start to finish in this World Cup is France.
And Spain.
Obviously, Mbappe has got 7 goals already at age 24 in F8 World Cup finals. He's taken, Messi has got 7 as well, hasn't he? And 5 of them are penalties or something like that. He's got 8 now and 5 are penalties. I think that Mbappe, they were talking about him is this a passing of the guard and all of that. I think when it comes to World Cups, Mbappe's left Ronaldo and Messi in the shade because he's got 7 goals already. He's only 24. He's got at least 2 more World Cups left in him, and he scored in the final and won it. So I think that, looking at what's going on. I think it looks like it could be Mbappe's tournament, and it could be, you know, France again to win it. But who knows? We know what knockouts are like. They just need one to have one bad game and it's over.
Yeah, you make an excellent point, and Mbappe has been sensational. His game against Argentina in the last World Cup was just like a rival of the new worldwide superstar, and he's picked up where he's left off in the first both of the games he's delivered.
Messi and Ronaldo, dare I say it, are the past now. They can't carry the teams.
I will say one thing, and Rashid, come in and back me up if you agree. But like Messi and Ronaldo, it feels like they're carrying their teams, whereas Mbappe is surrounded by just a wealth of talent, and he's allowed to shine. What do you think?
But he's shining at the top of that wealth of talent.
But
then again, Messi's not. Sorry, go on,
Maradona carried Argentina to a World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
That says something about Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo's fair enough. They've won.
Well, listen, we're all out of time. We're all out. We're gonna have to pick this up next time, guys. We're all out of time. It's been great talking to you all, and we'll be back again on Monday night to talk more World Cup. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show, and inshallah, we'll